Next, for me, comes the real secret: leverage. Making systems do the work so that you don't have to. And the overriding principle of leverage is do the work once, get paid back forever. Do the work once and get paid back forever. I mean, how many times does an author write a book? Once. But every time someone buys it, they get paid back forever. That's the embodiment of leverage for me, is do the work once and get paid back forever. And leverage is all about systems. And the acronym for systems is saving you stress, time, energy, and money. But the really important part of leverage is this. You see, most people watching this video will have millions and millions of pounds worth of value in their heads. But because they keep it in their heads, they'll never realize it. So here's my challenge for you, starting today, is get a ring binder and task yourself with writing one routine thing that happens in your business every single week. Just one. The routine stuff, but it's got to be written at keystroke level. A dummy has got to come into your business and run that system. If once you've written that system and you ask one of your team to carry it out and they have to ask you a question, it means that the system hasn't worked. You're making assumptions. You have to write everything as though somebody hasn't been in there ever. And they're going to pick that up and start running that system. Now, it doesn't just have to be written. It can be videoed, it can be photographed, it can be audio. It doesn't really matter. But we've got to start getting that knowledge out of our heads. Some people say to me, Jazz, well, that's only going to save me 3 minutes a day. Yeah, 3 minutes a day for the rest of your life. And that's how we have to look at it. Imagine if you did a few more of those and all of a sudden you've got half an hour a day saved of your time for the rest of your life. In a year's time, you're going to be so grateful that you started writing down systems and processes. That much I'll give you my word for. Now, for those of you watching that are in a bespoke environment, you'll say to me, well, how can you document how to do a new project every single time? And that's where I want you to think about the whole principle of case studies, about recording what you're doing. A builder once said to me, Jazz, when I go to a building site or a pile of rubble or a bit of land, I just instinctively know because I've been doing this for so long. So my advice to him was, well, the next time you're doing that, put your mobile phone on, start recording and start talking and create a library of case studies that people, when they join your business in their own time, will watch those videos to try to start to understand your thought processes so that you don't have to have them shadowing you for a year to understand all of that stuff. Remember, do the work once, get paid back forever. And when I teach my clients this is how I do it. I normally get them to process map the entire business. You're going to need a wall probably the size of half of a football pitch. And you're going to have to get lots of post-it notes and you're going to have to start mapping out what happens at all aspects of your business. And the reason I say post-it notes is because when you start doing it, you and your team are going to start arguing about it and saying, no, why does that go before that? Or shouldn't that go after that? So that's why we do it first. And once that's all done, we will draw it all up. And once it's all drawn up, we'll know which how-to manuals to write because they'll be on that process flow. Now, process flows and how-to manuals will not work. They will not make a blind bit of difference in our business if people don't follow them. And the way that we're going to get people to follow them is through checklists. Checklists. Everybody in business, including you watching this, need a checklist. If ever you wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning thinking, did I do that? Or I've still got to do that. Well, imagine the difference it would make if that was on a checklist. You wouldn't have to think about it. Would you let the pilot take off without doing their checklist? No, you wouldn't. So why are you trying to run a business? Why are you trying to run a business without checklists? Now, let me just reiterate why systems and processes are so important. And we'll use the example of McDonald's. So McDonald's is a fantastically systemized business. Let me ask you a question. What's the average age of a McDonald's employee around the world? 16. What's the average age of a McDonald's manager? One of these managers is responsible for a multi-million pound a year business unit. 21. On average, how long does a McDonald's employee stay with McDonald's? 4 months. This global giant has to recycle all of their team every 4 months. Imagine the chaos that would create in your business if that were to happen. Now, I know some of you watching this are going to be really enthused by that prospect, but for the majority of you, that's going to create you a load of headaches. Now, the McDonald's franchise is one of the most sought after franchises on earth. The waiting list for it is in lifetimes. And if you have one, you better not mess up, because if you mess up and you lose your license, you're never going to get one back in this lifetime anyway. And in the McDonald's franchise agreement, it clearly states that you as the franchise owner must be on site for a minimum amount of days every single year. So how many days does a McDonald's franchise owner have to be on site to adhere to the terms of their franchise agreement? 1. And that is only because the insurance company asked for it. So how are all these things possible? Systems and processes. Once we have these in place, the way that we look at business changes totally. We need to move away from people dependency to systems dependency. Do you have anybody in your business that's got a lot of knowledge in their head that if they were to leave or something were to happen to them bad, the business would suffer? Well, if you do, then you need to do this even quicker. You need to start getting that information out of people's heads written down. So in summary, leverage is all about doing the work once, getting paid back forever. Start writing things down, filming them, dictaphoning them, photographing them, and create a how-to manual that other people can follow, which will pay you back with your time.